Right. Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. It's Eddie the Man here. It's been a minute, but look, it's been really a long time out in action. But I tell you what, the action is actually just on the YouTube. But I've been doing a lot of writing. It's only that I didn't have much of time to do the editing and transformation. You know, YouTube, it actually needs some dedicated time frame, some real time for you to go through all the videos and do editing and then you post. So I've actually been doing a lot of writing, but I just didn't have time to edit the videos and post here. But thankfully, I managed to get a slot and I did this clip right here, which I'm going to share with you. Actually, it's a bit of a series, so rest yourself for some good time ahead. So get your popcorns and really get ready to watch the whole series. So in this ride right here, it's actually pretty much a long one. So this is actually a ride from Johannesburg to Durban, of which it's gonna be spanning from Durban to somewhere around South Africa, as you're gonna see later on. Okay, so maybe just a bit of a background here. So the reason why I actually embarked on this trip, I actually been keen to be on the Durban trip for quite some time, but I never had a motivation, or I never had like a final push for me to go ahead and do that. But at this moment in time, I actually had one. So at this moment in time, me and a friend who you're gonna see later on, we actually wanted to go and attend another very famous motorbike rally, which is actually known as the Kurumani Rally, right? Which is actually in the Northern Cape. So at this moment in time, me with my friend said, you know what? I think this year let's go ahead and do the Kurumani Rally. But fortunately, towards the days, my friend sold his bike, so he didn't have a bike at the moment in time. But anyways, the good news is that he actually decided to buy another bike. So it was pretty much more of a surprise from him. Because when he told me that I sold the bike, I said, dude, what's happening, you know? And he didn't say much. But luckily, I know he's the man of promises and he's the man of his word. So he actually was planning to buy another bike, of which that's what he did at this moment in time. So he purchased his bike in Durban, South Africa, and all the way from Harare. So now the situation is, actually the initial plan is that we were supposed to ride all together from Harare to Kurumani, right? But now, since my friend had sold actually his bike, so we couldn't embark on that trip together. So he actually had to fly all the way to Durban, so that picks up the bike, and then from there we go and attend the Kurumani Rally. But me, because I like riding, I like being on the road, I like being on two wheels, I like the wind therapy, I said, bro, you know what, I think let me be on the road, and then you're gonna fly up later, and then we meet up in Durban, we go and collect your bike, and then after that we are back on the Kurumani Rally. So I actually had to go days before, so that I actually be on the road. Otherwise, if I leave the same day, obviously I can't be on the same speed as the plane, otherwise he was going to attend the rally alone while I was still on the road. So I actually had to start and then be on my trip, so that we synchronize the time, and then by the time I arrive in Durban, he was also going to be touching down, and then we do collect the bike, and then we prepare for ourselves for the trip to Kurumani. So this was exactly the day. So I actually didn't record all the way from Harare to Joburg, because like I've been on that trip for many times. I've been riding on that stretch for like more than many times, and I did some recordings as well. I have lots of trips already, lots of recording for that stretch. If you haven't watched any, you can actually pop through on the channel and actually get to watch some of the trip recordings that I did from Harare to Joburg. So I didn't record that, so actually that's why I started to record from Durban. That's why I started recording from Joburg to Durban. So on this very day, my friend actually embarked on was actually supposed to embark on a flight, and then I actually had to check out and leave Joburg very early in the morning, so that by the time we arrived in Durban, he will also be touching down, because he booked a flight which almost touches down the same time I was going to be touching down as well in Durban. So when I left home, I didn't have enough hard cash with me. I had to look for an ITM. So I branched off to this garage so that I can actually look for an ATM, get something in case of emergency. You know, I think I only had a 50 rand note in my wallet, so I needed some notes.
So I wanted ATM standard rate. No, standard rate. No, as not. I order ATM last time. Oh, sure. Thank you.
This place, people, is pretty much full of scenic views, nice panoramic views. So I won't be doing a lot of talking so that you can actually get to enjoy the views here and appreciate the whole open view of this wall straight from Durban to Durban. Actually very, very nice and beautiful watch. To the eye is really, really nice. So I would just do not much of talking so that you can actually get to enjoy very much of distraction from my
Time stood still, just like a photograph. You made me feel like this was forever. Looking in your eyes, I see my whole life. They say you know it, but you know I don't know. Promise that you don't let it go. I'm still
thing you notice about this highway is that it is actively being maintained. I mean, from grass cutting, as you can see on my right there, to the tar patching, even general infrastructure improvement is actually really on a high level and it's actually noticeable by any road user, which is actually a good thing. And another thing, the entire stretch, which is about 500 and something, close to 600 kilometers, is all a dual highway. That's applaudable, isn't it? It's really, really a good thing. I mean, I think the other reason why this highway is so on the spotlight, actively being maintained and dualized like that from the inland and to the coastal region, probably is because this highway is actually the gateway route to the overseas place for the containers and other exportation of goods like your chrome. I'm sure you're gonna see a lot of trucks here carrying some minerals heavily being hemorrhaged out of Africa, like your chrome, not sure about lithium and many other minerals. You're gonna see the trucks here. That's why you see like mostly this route is heavily infested by trucks, heavy loaded trucks. So they're taking out all the stuff from the inland to the coastal region for exportation to some Americas, Europe's, Chinese countries here. So that's why it's actually very busy. You can see the type of vehicles that are largely in this highway. They are trucks. It's few Mercedes C-Class here or Volkswagen Polo, or Mazdas and stuff. It's all trucks. It's called the taking out stuff. Most of the countries in the southern region, they make use of this route, like taking out the stuff. So the Durban port is actually the most active exportation hub for the African countries. This route, it links all the way from Joburg to Durban, but if you straight backwards, if you do some kind of reverse engineering, it goes all the way back and links to the Beitbridge border post. That is to say, all the stuff that comes out of Zimbabwe, Malawi, or even Zambia, they actually pull all the way through to this route and to the highway and all the way to the Durban hub, to the large, huge ships and exportation to the countries that are out there, Russia and USA, China, Portugal, and many other countries. So that's why it's actively busy like this. It's full of trucks. There is another camera trap. Lots of them. As much as the road is open and so enjoyable, smooth and nicely flowing, but there's a whole lot of camera traps here. So you really need to watch your speed. If you are throttle sick, you might actually end up having to fork out a whole lot of amount of money and pay for your mischievous activities here on the throttle switch. Yeah. Anyways, let's keep up and let's keep on enjoying the free spin here on this highway. Let's go.
dance the night away, hang out the whole next day, laughing, having fun.
Finally came. I finally made my fate. I got past it. For some reason, like I don't think I was even doing the overspeeding thing. I think I was cruising normally because there was a car just in front of me. It just passed, but unfortunately I got busted. I got stopped. So yeah, that was it. I got busted out, and I didn't argue much or refuse my accusations. I complied, and then all I did was to ask for a second chance, because I think if I did exceed, I think I exceeded by less than 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers or 5 kilometers per hour, and the officer was kind enough. I was released on a warning. I didn't pay anything, guys. I didn't pay nothing. So the officer was very, very kind. I think he has bikers at heart. He loves us. So after greetings and exchanging stories, talking nicely, actually wished me a happy journey and a good travel. So thank you, officer, wherever you are. Thank you very much for releasing me on a warning, and I actually arrived safely. gentlemen, this is the end of part 1 of many parts to come. I'm sure you've enjoyed the views, everything really. So please brace yourself and be ready for part 2 and many other parts to come. Do let me know what you think. If you have reached this far and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment, share, and let's engage. So you can actually pop up any question, comment, improvements, the likes, the dislikes, anything. So and yeah, include everything that you want to see in the next episodes, or something that you don't want to see in the next episode. You know, let's just interact. We're just here for some fun. This is not a profession. This is not someone's full-time job. There's no salary. There's nothing. It's just all for fun. So let's have some fun. Get ready for part 2 and many other parts to come. They're gonna be explosive. Until then, is a cheers for now. See you in part 2. Get ready.